So I meant to make this video before I did my ride and I forgot. I was so busy getting everything set up because I had a camera set up on top of my helmet. I had a camera set up here on the handlebars, and I brought other gear with me. I thought about maybe doing a drone shot. I wasn't able to. I didn't have the right conditions to do it. So anyway, I forgot. So I wanted to talk about this ride. This is the first time I've done a motorcycle video in a while. And I bought this Triumph Tiger 800 XRX low ride height. It's about a 30-inch seat height. It's a 2017, had about 18,000 miles on it. I'm going to be selling this bike. This is the CSC Motorcycles RX4 Adventure. Overall, this has been a decent bike, but there were certain things that I didn't like about it, or issues that I found with it. One was, so the ride that I just did today, I went up to Payson and back, and it's a little bit, curvy, mountain roads, etc. Some parts of the highway are a little bit steep, and riding the RX4, it had difficulty keeping up with traffic when I was going up the steep hills. So I'd have to drop it into fifth gear and maybe be doing about 60, 65. Again, this is a 450 cc engine, 40 horsepower. This is an 800 cc engine, 95 horsepower, and this had no problem on the hills. So that kind of solved that issue. The other thing is, this bike is really overall, a lot of what you hear about it is it's not, the quality is not going to keep up with the better quality bikes and stuff, but you get a lot for the money. They sell these things new, I think, typically for $5,000. I paid, I forget, like $3,700 for it like 2.5 years ago or so. And I haven't had any issues with it, but I will say that it just didn't feel refined. It feels a little clunky. And this Triumph is noticeably better. The RX4 is a 2020 with currently about 2,800 miles on it. Again, this is a 2017, about 18,000 miles, and it's, even though it's 3 years older, it's, I don't know, it's like, I wouldn't say night and day, but it's a lot better. You can just tell immediately it's much more refined, better quality. The shifting, the balance of the bike, just everything feels better. It feels easier to ride. Another thing about this one that I didn't really like, now this is a fairly low seat height, but it's still about 32 inches, and I'm only 5'6". I have about, I think, a 30-inch inseam. So this still was high for me, and I'd be literally on my tippy toes riding this. And it feels a little bit more top heavy, like the center of gravity seems to sit higher on this bike. So once it starts to feel like it's leaning, it feels like it, if you're not careful, it could fall over pretty easily. This bike, the Triumph, seems like it has a lower center of gravity. It is about, the dry weight is about 30 pounds less, so it is a lighter bike. That's another thing I like. But it also it sits lower, and the center of gravity sits lower, so it's easier to handle. It's easier to maneuver. It feels like it's easier to just manage, me being a short rider and everything. That being said, I'm going to combine some of the clips that I got from my cameras. I'll put a little video together, but I have to tell you, so I consider myself to be a new rider. I've been riding for, I think I'm going on 3.5, maybe 4 years or close to that. And like, one thing I got to tell you, I don't understand how people don't wear helmets. Look at all the bugs on my windshield and on my helmet. And I had a really bad one going up, like right in the center of my windshield, that I cleaned it off when I stopped in Payson. But you're just constantly getting bombarded. Look, all over. How can you not wear a helmet? I don't understand that. I mean, I know a lot of bikes have windshields, but even still, I'm still getting hammered with bugs in the head and stuff. Um, Aside from that, I'm still like I. This is something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to have a motorcycle. Just never happened when the kids were younger, and it just wasn't in the budget. And now I've been able to make it happen. I really enjoy it, but I can tell you it's not for everybody. Um, it's I don't know. It's just so that's my car, 2017 Kia Sorento, and it's one of the nicer trims. So it has like leather interior, really nice sound system, beautiful panoramic sunroof, all the bells and whistles, and I love driving that car. And you sometimes got to question yourself, like, why would you put yourself on a motorcycle? And just, I mean, I'm getting battered around by the wind. There are times where I'm cruising like in the center of the lane, and a big gust of wind comes and pushes me over to the side. On one occasion, it pushed me in both directions. It pushed me to the left, and then right after that, pushed me to the right. And it's a little unnerving when you're going 70, 75 miles an hour. And it's, you get tired of it, your butt gets sore, my knee was hurting. But I don't know. I guess partly, like I said, I've always wanted a motorcycle. And I know as I get older, it's clear to me that I won't be able to do this forever. So a part of me feels like I want to do it while I can. So that's pretty much it. But anyway, so the ride to Payson was kind of a test because, like I said, this motorcycle I've only had for a couple weeks. And I did buy the extended warranty, although I don't generally support those things because I think you're better off just saving money and just paying for repairs on your own. Simply because I think a lot of these warranty companies, they're trying to make a profit, so they're going to go with the cheapest parts, and they're going to try to deny the claims and whatever. But knowing that this was a used bike with 18,000 miles, I wanted to have some protection, so I bought the extended warranty. And now I've ridden it for a couple weeks, this ride to Payson, which I think is about 100 miles or so up and 100 miles back. That was my biggest ride, and bike performed beautifully. So I'm going to cancel the extended warranty and get my money back because I can do that within 30 days. So that's pretty much it. Love the bike overall. Love the bike. It's a big improvement from the RX-4. Again, no complaints about the RX-4. You get a lot for the money. I mean, I'm going to sell this probably. I have some aluminum cases like these. I have another set that I'm going to sell with the bike. Those cases are about $900. So all combined, I'm probably going to list it for about $3,900. And you literally are getting a lot for that money, given that this bike, again, being 3 years older and a lot more miles, I paid double that. I paid just over $8,000 out the door for this bike. I mean, I think it's worth it because it has just a lot more to offer. But yeah, I'm happy with it, and I'm looking forward to more rides.